Welcome, everybody, and thank you so much for being here. My name is Susie Damolano, in case you don't know. Well, some people haven't recognized me in a while because they've only seen this part of me for so long. And I have to say, it's just been wonderful to see all of you in person and actually touch some of your cheeks and get hugs. So welcome home. Our fabulous marketing director put up signs everywhere, and we really mean it. And for those of you who are watching from home, I hope you have a glass of champagne and some snacks, because we do. And we look forward to seeing you all soon. So tonight is a very exciting night, because tonight is the night that we find out what is happening in Bill's brain. It can be a very interesting night. But he and his team, they read scripts and see shows all year long. And tonight we get to find out which of those shows that he has read and loved, and that we have read and loved, will be presented here on our stage for our 19th season. Right? I just realized something. My mother has always said, if you're on camera and you're not reading a script, take off your glasses. So I'm taking off my glasses. I have mascara on for the first time in a year and a half. So I hope that you all enjoyed your COVID appetizers. COVID me being, not that they had COVID in them, but I actually Googled COVID appetizers, and they suggested the cones, which I thought was really cool. But yeah, see, another thing you're missing at home. But so get a cone and put everything you want in it. Other than that, I want you to sit back and enjoy. Bill is going to introduce everything else. Bill English, our fearless leader, our artistic director, the king of the empathy gym. Oh, come on, Bill.
Well, I don't see how I could possibly live up to that introduction. Well, Susie has always set the bar for me for so long. I think when we first started our theater, we were in this former ladies' social club, which it was actually called the Cirrhosis Club. Up on, go figure. Up on Sutter. I think it was short for sorority, because there were people that had grown up and gone to the first female sorority, and I think when the disease got identified, the club just sort of disappeared quietly. But we were in this old crazy place, and it leaked. And how many of you were actually in that first theater? I mean, quite a few of you, right? Yeah, it was a broken down kind of thing, but it had an auditorium and a ballroom, and it was the craziest place, and it was just kind of, and I thought, oh, let's just get some folding chairs and maybe we'll build a little stage. And Susie says, oh no, I found these seats, these theater seats. You're going to build risers and put the seats on them. And I said, yes, ma'am. And so that's the kind of leadership that Susie provided, I think, all along, and still provides. She sort of sets the tone, and you walk in and you see these amazing, hors d'oeuvres and snacks. And even in these times, she's managed to do something unique and special. I'd also like to thank Ben Prince, who is our pianist, accompanist, and former musical director for Dogfight, among others, right? You've done a bunch of our shows and has played piano and is one of our favorite musicians. It's just, I see Ben and my heart just breaks, because it's like seeing all of you. I haven't seen anyone in 15 months, and who knows whether we would ever see each other again, if we would ever be here again. And all the paranoid fantasies that our brains go to, and we're padding around the house in our sweats and our T-shirts, It's a crazy time. I'd like to also thank Mary Claire. Stand up here for a second. And Mary Claire is our event coordinator. She's the one that put this whole thing together and made it happen. And she's also sort of ex officio literary manager. I mean, she's the one that read 300 or 400 plays and recommended. She reads the play and she says, "Oh, it's okay. Yeah, it was pretty good. Yeah, it was good. Yeah, it was really good." And then there's this. And when I see that, then I know I better take it seriously. And so that's what she's the one, and others, people that read plays, Susie, that read plays that we whittle it down to. We've got 8 or 10 people going. And then we know we better take them seriously. And I'd like to thank to you, who is, of course, our former box office director, new individual gifts manager, camera person, singer, ukuleleist, and I think we pretty much would go on and on with that. That is good. I'd like to thank Sheila, who's been running the bar today, and Chris, who will be on the phone. And most of all, I'd like to thank all of you, because the reason we are here today is quite simply because of you. And because of the pandemic year, that crazy year when we didn't know what to do and our theater was shut down, and pretty much every single one of you in this room stepped up big time and enabled us to not only exist, but I think to thrive. I think because we started out with our fireside chats and our Zoomlets, and we went on to be filming plays on this stage with actors like Jomar, we were able to employ 30 or 40 actors in a season when no other theater in the Bay Area was employing anyone. And that is quite simply because of you. So I stand here just kind of choked up and emotional because I'm grateful. I don't think I've ever felt this grateful to be here alive, and with all of you looking so alive and so good and so strong and so positive. So thank you. So this is a season, I think, which is it's been a very, very challenging time that our country and our world have been through this last year, and I think in a lot of ways it feels kind of like our most important season. We've not only responded to the pandemic and all of the things that people have been through, but we're responding to the sort of cultural revolution that has taken place in the wake of the George Floyd murder and White Theaters We See You. That's been a big effect on us. And so a lot of the decisions we've made and a lot of the things we've been working on have come from all of that. And so I was not only felt daunted and challenged by, I thought, oh my God, how am I ever going to do this? But I feel really excited, because I think somehow through the grace of God and the grace of whatever other marvelous spiritual energy floats throughout the world, I think we have really, really got a wonderful, wonderful group of plays. I also think of our mission that we made up years ago, and I think I've always, every time I look at it, I actually still really love it. And I've always thought of it as sort of a three-legged stool, that our plays here, the work we do here has to do three things. It has to lift our spirits, first of all. And I think just talking to you out in the lobby, I think our spirits are already lifted by the fact that we have something to look forward to this year. We've got some plays coming up, and we're going to be going back to work. And I think the second leg is to promote deeper self-awareness. I think that when we see theater, it opens us up to ourselves. We look at ourselves, we see ourselves in all of our beauty and our flaws, and we learn to accept ourselves and love ourselves and nurture ourselves better as a result of theater. The third leg I think of is called to nurture a compassionate community, so that we take that self-study and lifted up spirits and we take it out into the world and we try to make our community more compassionate. But I think through the pandemic, and I think through the cultural revolution that has followed and is going to continue to follow, I started thinking that we needed a fourth leg. And so I think that the plays we picked for the summer, short season, and the plays that we're picking for this season will also be aimed at doing one other thing, which is, I hope, to inspire change, to inspire positive change in the world, to take action. That when we leave here, we will not only try to make our community more compassionate, but we will actually think of an action that we can take in the world as a result of the work, as a result of the glass that we dropped. We have to make up for that because it costs money. I'll expect a special donation. Gosh, it's so great to hear people laughing at my stupid joke. I'm going to make it through this. I know I am, yes. So, without further ado, Mary Claire, would you like to come up, be my Vanna White? Now, are you in the right order?
Yes.
Okay. Can we have a collective drum roll? So here comes the first play of the season. Really thrilled to announce The Great Con. It is a world premiere. It will be the first performance. Actually, it's going to be the first leg of a rolling world premiere, meaning that two other theaters are going to premiere it after us. And it has been written by a local playwright and a local sort of a theater legend who's Michael Gene Sullivan, who has been the leader of the Mime Troupe for so many years. And because he is actually a living local playwright, we're actually lucky enough to have him here, and I'd like to invite Michael Gene up to just say a few words about the play.
Hi. So, you're probably more used to seeing me acting and dancing and running around on this stage, but yes, I'm also a playwright, and I was so thrilled, when Bill said, "So what do you got?" And being able to do this particular show, which is your average typical show about two black teenagers trying to struggle against the institutionalized racism and the stereotypes that they're forced to fit into, and the decision of, is it easier to go with the stereotype or is it easier to rebel against them? And then Genghis Khan shows up. No, seriously. And then Genghis Khan shows up. So it is a drama, it's a comedy, it's a call to action, and I'm really looking forward to it. So we have the actor who's going to be playing the principal character, Jaden. Oh, just to let you know, because I get to do this, Valina Brown, who some of you may remember from Company and from, she will also be in the show. And Leon Jones II, who will be playing the principal character of Jaden, will be doing a small piece from the show. Come on up. And to set this up, he is talking to his history teacher.
Hello, everyone. Hi. So sorry, I don't want to take up too much time, but it's so good to be around people. It feels so good to perform. I just finished up the project with Oakland Theater Project, and it was a drive-through show, so everyone was in their cars, but it's good to be with people and see seats. But okay, I won't take up too much time. I'm going to do the thing. Okay. Okay. Nah. It's all about you, your history. Y'all come from this little crippled ass cold finger of a land sticking off Asia, and y'all teachers and historians think the whole world, the whole universe revolves around your history. Whole continents get set aside like nothing happened there until white people showed up. And when you did, you showed up, you burned all the books, tore down the cities, killed off the kings, stole the gold, and then said, "See, These motherfuckers ain't never been shit. Telling us the whole world, most of which ain't Europe, nobody did nothing because it's the Middle Ages. Well, it wasn't the Middle Ages everywhere. Other places just was what it was, and shit was happening, and people were living and dying and painting and writing and fighting and winning kingdoms and empires and getting respect and knowledge. And just because they weren't in Europe, none of that counted. Where's the badass nigga who gets his respect? Nowhere. See, what you teach, all your history, is like some big trick, a great con. Because they're in charge now. White people write history to make it look like it always been like that, like it was inevitable. That's why they really write us out of history. Y'all are afraid that if we knew that we used to kick y'all asses on the regular, how badass we used to be, we might just remember and do that shit again. Thank you.
Comedy. So anyway, thanks a lot, Bill. See you in a couple of months.
Thank you, Michael Jean, and thank you, Leon. That's great. Well, we've never done any Shakespeare. I don't know why that is. I love Shakespeare. It seems like everybody else was doing Shakespeare, you know, and so I figured we would leave it to them. And there was always summer Shakespeare. Of course, this summer we've had no Shakespeare, and last summer we had no Shakespeare. And I guess maybe we could use a little bit. And then I stumbled across this piece of theater, which was developed by the Public Theater and was presented 2 summers in a row at the Delacorte Theater in Central Park, you know, as a part of their free summer festival. And I looked into it, and I just absolutely fell in love with it, and fell in love with not just the story, which is one of the great stories ever told, but also with the music, which is contemporary, and it has its setting in a kind of a New Orleans-y kind of, Southern look and feel. And it's by an unbelievably talented young composer and text writer. And so this is a musical version, a rhythm and blues, uptown, musical rock and roll version of Twelfth Night. And I'm so incredibly excited about it. And the music is by Shana Taub, and the text by Kwame Kwe Aruma. And Shana Taub is like, to me, she is the next superstar of musical theater writing, and she's like not quite broken through, you know, kind of like Pasek and Paul were when we did Dogfight, you know, and then a year later they did Dear Evan Hansen, and they were superstars. She's actually currently co-writing a musical based on The Devil Wore Prada with Elton John. So I think this girl has arrived, you know. And we are lucky enough to have with us a singer that's going to do the opening song from the show. And nobody ever thought of turning this particular lyric into a song, but when I say it, you'll realize what a no-brainer it is. If music be the food of love, play on. And this will be starring Danny Honeyman.
A 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. If music be the food of love, play on, play on. If music be the food of love, play on. Bliss and misery, let them wail in harmony, even when it seems all hope is gone. Play on.
It's such a great opening song for a musical, huh? I mean, how could you do better than that? I think the only thing that might be better than that is the closing song, which is just pretty incredible. It's let me just. It's kind of a paraphrase of a saying that a certain theater company already has. Really, I mean, this is a song in the show we're going to do that was written by somebody else 3,000 miles away. And the lyrics go, if we see through the eyes of another, if we hear through the ears of another's voice, if we feel the heart beating of another, what a better world it would be. So, Empathy Jim strikes again. I wanted to mention that the director of The Great Con is going to be the great Darrell V. Jones. And the director of Twelfth Night is going to be Susie Damilano. So I guess by now we're to January and we're moving into a sort of sometimes a slightly more serious part of our programming after we do the musical. And, you know, we've been dealing a lot in the past year with what I would describe as a sort of a split down the center of this country. I mean, where there's been a lot of disagreement about how to do things and how to run the country, and we're still very much caught up in that. And I'm always working on my empathy gym inside my own personal empathy gym, and I always trying to imagine myself inside the heart and minds of the people who I oppose, and I'm appalled and scared by how much we have often enemized each other, and Emmy, of course, is the primary antidote to that problem. But this play, I saw this play in New York. It's actually one of the last things I saw before the pandemic, and I thought it was an amazing play because this play takes us basically into the hearts and minds of some young, very, very conservative people in their 30s who have come back to their college, their little Catholic college where they went to school in Wyoming, because their professor has been promoted to the dean of the school. And this takes place in the backyard of one of their houses, so I'm going to get to do another backyard set, which I love. And without further ado, Heroes of the Fourth Turning by Will Arbery. And we're lucky enough to have one of the actors that's going to perform in this show with us, and I'd like to welcome her up to the stage to do a little monologue from the show. And also, Mr. Joe Martagatek, right, who's going to be part of the scene. So will you two actors come up, please?
Jomar just did an entire run of Hold These Truths and does not have the energy to come on stage. So he'll be reading from the front row. Actually, I also want to say the last show that I got to do live on this stage was Tiny Beautiful Things next to Jomar Tagatak. So I'm honored that you are back with me. I feel safe-ish. We did not rehearse, FYI. Okay. All right, you go.
You tried us for not being imaginative, but you kick us out of school for smoking a joint. But there's a whole side to life that we're just pushing down, like, can't we be Catholic and not,
This is beautiful, Kevin. You're so close. I want to answer. I'm a little tipsy myself. Kevin, but let me try to, honey, of course we allow for different conclusions, but to focus on the conclusions is to miss the point. What we're after is the slow pursuit, the thrill of reason and rhetoric, prayer and poetry, a slow working out, taking apart the clock and putting it back together, hearing the music of its ticking with fresh ears and precise new understanding. And God, let the understanding be slow. Progressiveness moves too fast and forces change and constricts liberty. Gridlock is beautiful. In the delay is deliberation and true consensus. If you just railroad something through because you want it done, that's the passion of the mob. Delaying is the structure of the republic, which is structured differently in order to offset the dangers of democracy. I believe in slowness, gridlock, the space between the cup and the lip. Martin Diamond talked about this. The little space between the cup and the lip, just waiting a little longer to taste the wine. You ever watch those old Hollywood romantic comedies that were made during the Hays Code era? Anything explicit would be censored. Working within that restraint, those movies are sexier than anything made today. A glance, a slight brushing against the hand, an innuendo.
So there it is, the challenge of the empathy gym. Okay, so we're moving along into the spring. This is a play that one of those plays that Mary Claire was jumping up and down about, having read and brought it to me, and I gave it to a board member of ours, Betty Nakamoto, to read, and we all started jumping up and down, and then I read it and started jumping up and down, and I'm just super excited to announce this play. The Paper Dreams of Harry Chin, which is about a Chinese immigrant who comes through Treasure Island, Angel Island, and the whole camps, and is given a paper name, which isn't his actual name, but he has to deal with it, and he spends his whole life working in a restaurant as a chef, and he develops a whole American family, and then he has a family that he left behind in China, and it happens when he's middle-aged, and he's going back over his life, and all of the characters that have been a part of his life are sort of battling for his attention, and he's also judging himself and trying to come to terms with the choices he's made and the decisions he's had to live by, and I think maybe he's reserved up some energy since the last reading and is now willing to come up on the stage. Because I gave him a couple extra pieces of shrimp. But we're going to get a little monologue from The Paper Dreams of Harry Chin by Jomar.
It's funny, right? The whole country against us with nothing but laws and uniforms and dogs and guns. And we, fleeing famine, believe we can overcome this with nothing but paper. Powerful paper, to be sure. Paper that says son of native, that says merchant or diplomat, that says exempt. Paper that contains new names, new histories, new possibilities. Paper that helps us squeeze through loopholes. Or so we hope. You never told me your name on paper, the name you bought. So I'm the last to call you by the name your parents gave you. I'm the last to call you Cheng Yu. Cheng Yu! Wait up! Thank you.
Anyway, this is just a wonderful play. It's only been done once in Minneapolis, and so we're doing the West Coast premiere of it, and I couldn't be more excited about it. It's told in a kind of a magical realism, so characters come and go, and time goes back and forth, and it's just a really exciting piece. Okay, moving right along, we're now going to go to our fifth show, which is a Pulitzer Prize winner. It won the Pulitzer Prize about 8 years ago, and it's by Chiaria Alegria Huedes, and the title is Water by the Spoonful. I know, how many of you have actually seen this show? Nobody, that's good. Okay, well, Linda's seen everything. It's an amazing show. It's about it takes place a while ago. It's about a Gulf War vet returning who is working at Subway while he's trying to get his acting career jump-started. And his sister runs a kind of an online help kind of dialogue system for recovering addicts that includes people from all over the world. So the thing I love about the play is it revolves around this one Puerto Rican American family that is dealing with getting work in New York. But the characters in the play, some are in Japan, some are in LA, some are in Germany, and they're all kind of just basically on stage the whole time working through their issues. And it kind of reminds me, I feel like it's kind of a good play for us to do post-pandemic because it's kind of how we were living, right? We were all kind of just stuck in our little boxes and trying to break out of our boxes, and the humanity that is still burning inside of our hearts that keeps us going and keeps us searching for the answers to the questions that we haven't been able to solve. Water by the Spoonful. And we don't have a director for either of these yet. We're still working on that. So, our wait a minute. No, we have a special guest. Right. I forgot. We have a monologue from Water by the Spoonful, and our casting person has cast herself in this role. Laura Espino is going to do a monologue from Water by the Spoonful.
Only part of that is true. Okay. I'm much smaller than most of the other talented people here. Hello, I am Freedom and Noise. Current location, Rainforest B&B, Puerto Rico. This is my job app for interim site admin. Experience with chat rooms, 0. Experience with drugs, 1 doobie in high school. But Fountain said that it was up to you guys if you would have me, so please hear me out. Haiku Mom is my aunt. For a few years, she was my crazy babysitter, the baddest hide-and-seek player north of Girard Avenue. Dress up, booby traps, forts, until I was 8, and then poof, she disappeared. New babysitter, 0 explanation. So my first Thanksgiving home from college, I walk in and there's Haiku Mom, stuffing pasteles in the kitchen. Hadn't seen her in 10 years. What's up, little niece? Congratulations on college. She planted a big wet one on my cheek and pulled a necklace from her shirt and said, "You know what those gold letters mean? The N is for narcotics, the A is for anonymous, and today is my 2-year anniversary of being clean." I remember sitting next to her at that Thanksgiving table, this question first rooting itself deep in my gut. What did I do to earn all that I have? What have I done anything difficult in my whole life? So, if you'll have me, while Haiku Mom recovers, I'll be paying my babysitter back for all the times she let me win at Uno. Thank you.
Well, it was a little more than 2 years ago that we announced our 1920 season. And as you all know, that season didn't really happen. It got changed into another season, which became digital and which was great. We've done a lot of great work, and now we're back live in the theater finally. In the back here somewhere is the set for The Song of Summer, which is going to open in a couple weeks, a new Lauren Yee play that I'm so excited about. We're really excited to bring that to you all in 2 weeks from yesterday, actually. But, in going through the shows that we had listed for the 1920 season, one of them just kept jumping up and saying, we got to do this, we got to do this, we got to do this, we got to do this. And many of you, when we did the survey at the sneak peek, I have to tell you that this show was by far had the highest rating from all of you who took part in that sneak peek celebration. And I think most of you probably know what it is by now. Follies! It's great because I spent about a year designing the set. So I just thought, I cannot let all that work go to waste. It's actually part built. We have a huge electrical sign with letters this big that go across, all the way across the stage, that have 2 rows of light bulbs on every letter. And they circle and spin and lick, and it's those of you who know Follies, it says Loveland, which is sort of the play within a play that Follies has inside of it. So excited about this. I'm going to be directing it. I think we're probably going to get a lot of the cast back to it. We had at the time we announced the show, we actually had talked the great Karen Ziemba, Broadway star and Tony winner, into coming out to do it with us a year and a half ago. I guess we would be doing it. Yes, been doing it a year ago, and she's actually agreed to come do it again. So we're super thrilled about that. So thank you all. There it is. There's the season. To you. You want to come on up here? Yeah, one of the 17 talents and skills of T.U. Rebellion is that she's a singer. And so T.U. is going to sing a song from Follies.
And this, by the way, Karen Ziemba is going to sing this in the show. And I took a musical theater class in high school, and I remember my teacher showed us a video of Karen doing a song and said, "This is exactly how you do a comedy song." So I'm really going to be very embarrassed when I have to tell her that in person, that I've been studying her for 25 years. The sun comes up, I think about you. The coffee cup, I think about you. I gotta know, it's like I'm losing my mind. The morning ends, I think about you. I talk to friends and think about you. And do they know it's like I'm losing my mind? All afternoon doing every little chore, the thought of you stays bright. Sometimes I stand in the middle of the floor, not going left, not going right. I dim the lights and think about you. Spend sleepless nights to think about you. You said you loved me, but were you just being kind? Or am I losing my mind? And do they know it's like I'm losing my mind? All afternoon doing every little chore. The thought of you stays bright. Sometimes I stand in the middle of the floor, not going left, not going right. I dim the lights to think about you, spend sleepless nights and think about you. You said you loved me, or were you just being kind? Or am I losing my mind?
Wow, it's so moving to hear someone sing on stage in front of us, isn't it? Just, it was so beautiful. It's so beautiful. And she plays the ukulele, too. I think one of the great things about Follies, one of the odd facts we discovered about Follies when we were, looking into it, is that there has never been a professional production of Follies in San Francisco. So this, oddly enough, like 40 years later, is the professional premiere in San Francisco of Follies. And it's I think the wonderful thing about Follies is that it's about a lot of people who are, later in life, and they've been through a lot, and they've come back together, right? They were Follies girls 30 years ago, 40 years ago, some of them 50 years ago. So they're people in their 50s, 60s, and 70s. And I think, the story is primarily about the women in their 50s, 60s, and 70s. And so I think the greatest thing about Follies is that it provides 6 great roles for women of that age. Women who, people who are often sort of been kicked to the curb as far as career opportunities go in the theater because of our American obsession with youth, et cetera. So it's a testament to women and to older women, and I'm hoping, I haven't gotten approval from all of them, but we have found